Good afternoon, everyone. It's Louise from Eleanor Grace. Just another little update on this is the second out of three for the Boro sampler. We're going to do three stitches today, and then we're going to do another three next week. You can tell I need a holiday, and then it's the end. So I may do a little follow-up one when I'm back from holiday, just to sort of see what we've got, and for everyone to be able to share on the Facebook group, for us to see what you've done as well. So if you remember from last week, I picked three colours, had my pieces of linen put together here. Now this week's stitches are incredibly easy to do on linen. If you haven't got linen, then it might be a little bit more fiddly, but this is why I like linen, because linen can give you a guide because of the weave. But I'll just review what we've done before. We've done our little circles here. I've just got to iron the marks out, which I promise I will do before next week. We did the wandering stitches, which I did here, which is lovely and one of my favourites. And we also did our Hitamazashi stars here. Now, it might look initially like I'm going to make you do lots of very boring running stitch or Hitamazashi rows, but these are going to morph into something else, as you can see that start off here. So I'm going to start off with this one, since I have the needle in there at the moment. So this is going to be, actually, you can have really three options out of this, which is why I've left it part way through. So you can start off with just offset stitches, so the normal Hitamazashi, which is like a running stitch, really, all the same size as much as possible. You'll see mine have got a bit of variation in there, but we are of course doing a slow stitching version of Boro and Sashiko, so we're not being so 100% perfect as you would do. So you could just do some offset rows of running stitch, the Hitamazashi basic. You could then make it into offset crosses, which we've done on our bunting. So that was that. And there's a third one as well. I'm just going to show you. So I'm just going to finish this row here and then show you what we can start doing. Now, I won't finish the top row because it'll be too boring for you to watch me just doing some very basic stitches. So I'm just going to finish this one. Just get this through. It's quite a thick piece of linen, this one, but you'll see the reason linen can be helpful is that you have got striations along the sort of warp and weft, so you can see what line you're working along. So that keeps it all nice and straight. So the third option for this, if you didn't want to just leave it with the offset running stitch or the offset crosses, is that we can turn it into something called rice stitch. Now, rice stitch is just an additional, I'm going to just move these out the way, give myself a bit more space, is an additional couple of stitches to make a very, very pretty sort of lattice effect. So I'm going to start, obviously, on these two rows. I won't be able to give you the full effect because I haven't done quite enough rows, but you will get the idea. Once you've done, and it is best to go along the row first, go along all of the horizontal rows first, and then come back and do the up and down stitches. In fact, I'm going to make myself come along and finish off this third row as well. So you'll just have to bear with me for a minute because that is how it should be done. It keeps a better tension. It also keeps the stitches looking better. If you do each sort of cross stitch, if you like, or a plus sign stitch separately, you get all sorts of misshaping sometimes. So I'm not doing this perfectly, but I'm just I'll get that row finished for you. So this is the way it should be done. All of your horizontal first, then all of your vertical stitches, and then we can turn it into a rice stitch. Now, rice stitch, I think, is probably one of the most beautiful stitches. For me, I love pattern, and I suppose I love perfection, although I know we try not to aim for perfection, but I love the beauty of it. And I will show you an example in the book because it does make it clear how good this stitch can look. So we've got a bit of a thick bit here in this very old bit of linen I've got here. Let's just finish these last 3 off, and then we can have a look. Now, if you were doing it perfectly, you do want to ensure that they're more or less the same size. I haven't been 100% here with that, and you also want to make sure they're about the same size away from each other. Otherwise, it does make life a bit more difficult. I'm just going to snip off this end so you can see what I'm doing, because it's getting in the way. Okay, so there we go. So that would be our nice offset crosses. What you could do, which I think would look lovely, and I think I might do it, is start off with the rice stitch here, come down to just doing the crosses, and then finish off just with the running stitch. I think it would look really interesting. But what we do with a rice stitch is you've completed all of your crosses. Okay, so you get to that point, and what you want to do is put a very small stitch in between the different stitches on the vertical. Now you see here I haven't got very much space at all, so it's got to be a tiny stitch. You're only doing it on sorry, not on the vertical, you're doing it on the diagonal. So you're only doing it on the diagonal to the stitches that are already there. Let me show you. So if I do a very small stitch here, again, you don't want it to cross with the stitches that are already there. So much as we did with the stars, you want it to just, got a bit of a pull there. It's because it's pulling on the on this, which I'll probably take out now because it's pretty secure. And what you want to do is just attach one of these crosses to the other one, but without actually going right into the stitch. So it won't look like anything until I do a few of these. If I do a few here, what you're wanting to aim for is in between the two horizontal and vertical stitches. You're wanting to aim for sort of in between that, almost as if you were going to come in to do a star shape. And then when you do a few of these, it starts to look really pretty. And I will show you. I'm now going to do some of these. So again, I haven't given myself a lot of space here. I made some of these crosses a little bit big, so it's not going to look perfect, but it gives you an idea of what you should be aiming for. Let's do a couple more, and then you'll start to see the pattern come out. So it's called rice stitch. I'm not quite sure why. I suppose the connecting stitches are like little grains of rice. So if I show you that, so that's what I'm going to bring this in a little bit. So that's what you want to end up with. So you'll be doing stitches in between each of the offset crosses here. And although mine looks a little bit wishy-washy because I haven't done my stitches, I've done them a little bit too big. I will show you what it really should look like, and you will gasp with joy, I'm sure. Just look at this. Isn't that beautiful? So if I'd have been a little bit tidier, then my vertical stitches would be the same size. So that's the idea, is more or less they're going to be the same size as the stitches you've already made. But I've made mine a little bit big, so I've run out of a bit of space. But as you can see, even here, they're not absolutely perfect. So it makes a really beautiful pattern. So I think that would be a really nice one to do. So I'm going to carry on with that, working all the way along here, and then I'm going to carry on with some more rows, which is how you should do it properly. You should have done all the rows first. So I'm probably going to just do the offset basic sort of running hitomazashi stitch all the way down, and then I'm going to come back and do some of them with the cross and probably do some of them with the rice stitch, and then leave some plain. So I thought that would be a nice change. The second one that we're going to do, and I'm going to just make sure this thread is kept a bit out of the way. Again here, it looks a bit boring initially, But please bear with me because I think this is one of the most lovely stitches that I've seen. I have tried it a little bit on my bunting, but this is called boxes. Very simple. Again, what you want to do is not do what I'm doing here and sort of make them after only a couple of rows, unless you only want to do one row of them. But what you want to do is, again, do your horizontal rows first. So do all of those, and then you come back up and start doing the vertical. And the idea with this, a bit like the Hitamazashi stars, is that you don't complete the box. You're not actually making it a full square and they're all meeting. You don't want to meet these different holes together. What you want to do is do the stitch just outside of there. So if you can see here, I've done this first one there, and I just need to complete this box now. So I'm going to come just slightly outside of the top and bottom rows, but just slightly, not hugely. And I'm going to come up. So you're creating a box, but you're creating quite a open box. Nothing should cross. That's the idea of these. So if I do a few more of these, a couple more of these, and then you'll be able to see it's just such a lovely box. I'm getting all my threads tangled at the back, so let's get that out the way. So again, you're just sort of meeting them, but not actually quite touching. It's just outside of the stitches of the previous row, and I've got a piece of thread here holding my pieces together. I'm going to get rid of this because it's in the way, but you can get the idea that you get as near to, but not joining the rows, and you get this lovely pattern of a box, and I think it's so pretty. I'm going to do this, I might do it over this whole piece, but again I might just do a few rows, or I might then do a few odd ones, so it looks like they're, you know, you're full at the top and then you're slightly less and slightly less and slightly less, and then there's just the odd one here. Again, that's not a Boro thing. Boro is very simple and very straightforward. I'm making this a little bit more fun and a little bit of a twist. So I really love to know how you're going to take these into your pieces, and if you're going to give that a go and have a try with these with this rice stitch. So just remember with that, you're, again, with both of these, you're going all the way along on the horizontal, and then you start doing the verticals. And if you're going on to the rice stitch, you're then putting a horizontal stitch in between the rows as you go. So have fun with those. I am now officially off on holiday, really, for a couple of weeks. What I will do is pre-record the next session, so you'll get the third session. We're going to get some versions again of things we've done, and something new as well for next week to finish off the Boro sampler. And then I am actually away, so I will be closing my Etsy shop this Thursday at 12 o'clock lunchtime in UK time, because I will not be able to send anything out after Friday. So I'm going to be closing my Etsy shop at 12 o'clock on Thursday, and so I can have a little bit of time away and have a little bit of a holiday. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will have a couple of things recorded. We also need to tie off a couple of things with the stitch along. I did promise that there would be another Kanzashi flower tutorial for those who ordered the kits originally. So that will be made, and that will be going out in the next few days before I go away. And also we have another couple of little ends to tie up on the doing another couple of things on the stitch along. So we'll do a couple of videos for you, so you don't miss me too much when I'm away. But I hope you like these ones. I think these can look really lovely and effective, and I'm dying to try the rice stitch out on a slightly bigger sample, because this doesn't really give the full effect of how gorgeous it can look. So I hope you've enjoyed those, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.